Good morning, friends. Have you ever woken up feeling like your get up and go has already got up and left? You shuffle to the kitchen, maybe pour yourself a cup of coffee, and think, is this really what the rest of my mornings are going to feel like? Well, what if I told you there's a simple habit, something you can start doing tomorrow, that could not only turn those sluggish mornings around but actually add years to your life? And here's the kicker. Most of us over 60 are skipping it entirely. Now, I know what you're thinking, another health tip? Really? But stick with me here. This isn't about drinking kale smoothies or running marathons. It's something far simpler, something our bodies crave, and science backs it up. Studies show that seniors who practice this one morning habit have lower rates of heart disease, sharper minds, and even fewer aches and pains. Best of all, it takes less than 15 minutes. Today, we're going to talk about why this habit works, how to do it right, and why so many of us, myself included, almost missed out on it. And don't worry, if you're sitting there in your robe thinking, I'm too set in my ways to change, I'll share a little secret. I felt the same way. But once I tried this, let's just say my mornings, and my grandkids, thanked me. So let's start with the first piece of this habit, the part most folks get wrong. And trust me, it's not what you'd expect. It all begins with water. Now, I can hear you now. Water? Really? That's the big secret. But hear me out. When we wake up, our bodies have gone 6, 7, even 8 hours without a single drop of hydration. And as we get older, that dehydration hits harder. It's like trying to start a car with an empty gas tank. You're just not going to get very far. Here's the thing. Your morning coffee? That actually dehydrates you more. So before you reach for that cup of joe, try this. Drink a full glass of room temperature water. Not ice cold, that can shock your system. Just plain, gentle water. Add a slice of lemon if you like, but keep it simple. Now, I'll be honest, when my daughter first told me to do this, I rolled my eyes. I've made it to 68 without hydrating on a schedule, I said. But within a week, my afternoon headaches vanished. My joints felt less creaky. And I stopped feeling like I needed a nap by 10 a.m. But water's just the first step. The real magic happens when you pair it with the next piece, sunlight. Right here, this is free medicine. When you step outside within 30 minutes of waking up, even for just 5 to 10 minutes, you're telling your body, hey, it's daytime. Let's get moving. It resets your internal clock, boosts your mood, and even helps you sleep better at night. Now, I get it. If you're in a cold climate or it's raining, this feels tough. But here's the trick. You don't need perfect weather. Just open your front door, stand on the porch, and breathe in that fresh air. No sunglasses. Let that natural light hit your eyes. My neighbor Margaret does this in her pajamas every morning, rain or shine. She calls it her daily date with the sunrise. And at 82, she's out gardening longer than I am. But here's where most seniors go wrong. They do one without the other. They'll drink water but stay indoors under dim lights. Or they'll sit outside but skip the hydration. Together, though, it's like a morning tune-up for your entire body. Now, let's talk about movement. And no, I'm not talking about jumping jacks. After that water and sunlight, take just 2 to 3 minutes to move. Not exercise, just move. Roll your shoulders. Stretch your arms toward the ceiling. Shift your weight from foot to foot. When my knees are stiff, I'll even do this sitting down, just marching in place while I wait for the kettle to boil. This isn't about burning calories. It's about waking up your muscles and joints gently, like warming up an old engine. My friend Bob calls it oiling the hinges. And let me tell you, since he started doing this, he's gone from needing a cane to walk to the mailbox to taking his granddog on morning strolls. Now, I know change can feel overwhelming. Maybe you're thinking, 3 new things at once? I can't handle that. But here's the beautiful part. These aren't 3 separate habits. They're one seamless routine. Wake up. Drink water. Step outside. Breathe. Stretch. All before your coffee. Total time, maybe 12 minutes. And if that still feels like too much, start with just the water. Then add the sunlight next week. Small steps, friends. That's how lasting change happens. Now, I want to pause here because there's something important we need to address. Why don't more of us do this? Well, I'll tell you why. It feels too simple. We're conditioned to think that anything truly life-changing has to be complicated or expensive. But sometimes, the biggest gifts come in the plainest packages. Think about it. Our grandparents didn't have fancy supplements or fitness trackers. They drank water from the well, worked in the garden at dawn, and moved their bodies naturally. Maybe they were onto something we've forgotten. So, tomorrow morning, try it. Just once. Then come back and let me know how you felt. And if you're already doing this, tell us your story in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Now, there's another piece to this habit, one that's often overlooked, but just as powerful. It's not about what you do, but how you think. And once you combine this with what we've just talked about, that's when the real transformation begins. But we'll save that for our next chat. For now, let's focus on tomorrow's sunrise. Your body's been waiting for this. Why not give it what it's asking for? When we left off last time, I mentioned that the real magic happens when you pair those morning steps with something even more powerful, your mindset. Now, I don't mean you have to chant affirmations in the mirror or force yourself to be relentlessly positive. Let's be real. Mornings can be tough, especially if you're dealing with aches or worries about the day ahead. But here's what science tells us. Starting your day with just 60 seconds of gratitude or purpose can literally rewire your brain. A study from the University of California found that seniors who practiced a daily gratitude ritual had stronger immune systems, better sleep, and even fewer signs of inflammation. And the best part? It costs nothing. Let me show you what I mean. This is my Morning Minute Journal. Every day, after I've had my water, soaked up the sun, and done my gentle stretches, I write down one thing I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's big, like my granddaughter's laugh. Sometimes it's as simple as, the coffee smells extra good today. Now, I'll admit, when I first heard about gratitude journals, I thought they were for young folks with too much time on their hands. But then my friend Ed, a 74-year-old retired mechanic, told me he started doing this after his wife passed. He said, "Some days, all I could write was, 'I'm glad the sun came up.' But you know what? It kept me going." You don't need a fancy notebook, either. A sticky note on the fridge works. Or just take a moment while you're outside breathing the morning air to think, what's one good thing right now? It's like giving your soul a sip of water. But here's where most people stop short. They don't connect that gratitude to action. Let me tell you about my neighbor, Clara. She's 81, lives alone, and used to dread mornings. Then she started adding a single sentence to her gratitude practice. Today, I will. One day it was, today I will call my son. Another day, today I will try a new recipe. Nothing grand, just a tiny intention. And guess what? She told me it's changed how she sees time itself. Instead of feeling like the days blur together, she wakes up curious. What's my today, I will, going to be? So after your gratitude moment, ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today that'll make me feel alive? It could be planting a flower, finally organizing that junk drawer, or even just sitting outside a little longer. This isn't about productivity, it's about purpose. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, breakfast. I'm not here to lecture you about kale or quinoa, but what you eat in the morning, or don't eat, can set the tone for your entire day. And too many of us fall into two traps. Either we skip breakfast because we're not hungry, or we reach for sugary cereals or toast because it's quick. But here's the truth. As we age, our bodies need consistent fuel to maintain energy and muscle mass. Skipping breakfast can lead to that mid-morning crash where you're suddenly ravenous, and reach for whatever's easiest, usually not the healthiest choice. So what's the fix? Think simple and steady. Aim for 3 things in your first meal: protein, fiber, and healthy fats. That could be Greek yogurt with walnuts and honey, oatmeal with peanut butter and banana slices, even scrambled eggs with avocado. These combos keep your blood sugar stable and your energy humming along. And if you're not hungry when you wake up, that's okay. Wait an hour. But try to eat something by mid-morning. My buddy Frank, who's 76, swears by his second breakfast routine: a smoothie with spinach, frozen berries, and a scoop of protein powder at 10 a.m. He says it's the reason he can still hike with his grandkids. Oh, and about that coffee, let's clear the air. I'm not saying you have to give it up. Just try this. Have your water first, get some sunlight, then enjoy your coffee with your breakfast. That way, the caffeine doesn't hit an empty, dehydrated stomach. My arthritis used to flare up like crazy until I made that simple switch. Now, let's address something we often overlook: the power of connection. Mornings can feel lonely, especially if you live alone. But here's a radical idea. What if you made your morning routine a chance to connect, even if it's just for a few minutes? That could mean calling a friend while you sip your tea, sitting on the porch and waving at neighbors walking their dogs, or even sharing breakfast with someone. My weekly oatmeal date with my sister over Zoom has become my favorite part of Thursdays. We don't talk about anything deep, just the birds at her feeder or what she's planting in her garden. But it starts my day feeling lighter. Studies show that social connection is as vital to longevity as diet and exercise. So why not build it into your mornings? Even a brief chat tells your brain, you're not alone today. But here's the key: keep it low pressure. No need to host a brunch. A text, a smile at the mail carrier, or even singing along to a favorite song counts. Now, I know some of you are thinking, this sounds nice, but my mornings are chaotic. Grandkids need help, appointments, chores. I hear you. My daughter's a nurse, and when she works night shifts, I'm on grandpa duty at 6 a.m. sharp. But here's what I've learned: you can adapt this habit to fit your life. Those 10 minutes of sunlight? Do them while watching the kids play in the yard. Gratitude moment. Involve the grandkids. Ask them, what's one thing you're excited about today? Movement. Make it a game. Let's see who can touch their toes first. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress. Even on hectic days, steal moments where you can. Now, there's one final piece to this habit, something so simple, yet so profound. It's about how you breathe. Yes, breathe. Because the way you take in air each morning can calm your mind, lower blood pressure, and even reduce chronic pain. But we'll save that for next time. For now, why not try adding a dash of gratitude, a sprinkle of intention, and a pinch of connection to your mornings? You might just find that the years ahead feel a little brighter, a little lighter, and a whole lot fuller. Now that's something we don't do nearly enough as we get older. Breathe. I mean really breathe. Not the shallow, automatic breaths we take while rushing through the day, but the deep, intentional kind that fills your lungs and slows the world down for a moment. And here's the wild part: how you breathe in those first quiet minutes of the morning can shape your entire day, maybe even your health for years to come. Doctors at Harvard found that just 5 minutes of deep breathing daily can lower blood pressure, reduce stress hormones, and even ease chronic pain. Not bad for something you're already doing, right? Let me show you how to make it count. First thing after your gratitude moment, sit comfortably, or stand if that's better for you. Place one hand here on your belly, and take a slow breath in through your nose. Feel your belly rise like a balloon filling with air. Hold it for a count of 2. Then exhale through your mouth like you're fogging up a mirror. Do this 3 times. That's it. 3 breaths. My cousin Martha started doing this after her hip replacement. She said it helped her face the pain without panic. It's like giving myself a hug from the inside, she told me. And now, she teaches it to her bridge club. But here's the secret sauce. Pair this breathing with a smile. Even a tiny one. Sounds silly, I know, but smiling tells your brain, we're safe. We're okay. It's why you'll often see me grinning like a fool at the sunrise. Now, let's tie all these pieces together. Imagine a morning that looks something like this. You wake up, drink a glass of water while standing at the kitchen window, watching the light change. Step outside for 5 minutes, maybe in your slippers, maybe with a sweater, and let the sun warm your face. Stretch your arms up like you're reaching for the sky, then roll your shoulders a few times. Breathe deep 3 times, smiling at nothing in particular. Think of one thing you're grateful for, then whisper to yourself, "Today, I will," and fill in the blank with something kind and doable. Then, go about your day. Have your coffee. Eat breakfast when you're ready. Call a friend, or simply enjoy the quiet. That's it. No equipment. No strict rules. Just you, showing up for yourself in the gentlest way possible. I know what some of you are thinking, but what if I forget? What if I skip a day? What if I'm just Too tired. Let me tell you a secret. I forget. I skip. Some mornings, my arthritis screams louder than my motivation. But here's the beauty of this habit. It's not all or nothing. Even doing one piece of it, the water, the sunlight, the breath, counts. Progress, not perfection. And if you're sitting there thinking, I'm 75, isn't it too late to change? Let me share something my grandmother told me when I turned 50. Darling, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. You've already survived so much. Raised families. Built careers. Navigated losses. Why not give yourself this one small gift? A daily ritual that says, I matter. My health matters. My joy matters. So here's my challenge to you. Try this for 7 days. Just 7. And pay attention, not just to how your body feels, but to how your spirit feels. Does the world seem a little brighter? Do tasks feel a little lighter? That's not a coincidence. That's you, nurturing the miracle of your own life. And when you're ready, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below telling me which piece of this habit resonated most. Did the water surprise you? Did the breathing calm you? Or maybe you've already found your own twist, like my viewer Harold, who drinks his water with a sprig of mint from his garden. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know to keep making content that serves you. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We're building a community here of folks who believe that aging isn't about slowing down. It's about waking up. You've earned these years, friend. Here's to filling them with mornings that feel less like obligations and more like opportunities. Less like counting days and more like making days count. However old you are today, you're the youngest you'll ever be again. Let's make it wonderful. Every morning is a new beginning. Cherish yours.